Yo, what's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to go over the DBank wallet challenge. So this is the DBank wallet that I set up. I'll go ahead and let's close this. All right, so this is the DBank wallet that was set up. I've been sharing the different movements on Twitter, as well as the different plays, especially the theses behind them. So if you guys want to check that out, you can follow me on Twitter and see how everything's going. Obviously, Lord willing, the harvest will be plentiful, but the seeds have been planted, so we'll see how it goes. These are the different threads I've made for each of the plays, but in general right now, I have a position in ICE, F-Bomb, Joe, some of them, they aren't even showing up on here, but Nova Doge, Land on Arbitrum, some Glacier Finance, which is in an LP pool right now. Some Glacier and AVAX is literally just farming, some Brush, and then another position left over in ETH that I haven't deployed yet, and then some DSLA that's on KuCoin right now. And the total tokens, I shared those on Twitter as well. It's like 140,000 DSLA. But yeah, here is the thread on DSLA. So let's go and explain why I'm in these different positions. So first on ICE, I threw in about 500 to it, and the reason why I selected ICE is the narrative of the Uniswap V3 and Daniel Sesta. He's basically the dev behind Popsicle Finance, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do something along the lines of Uni V3 and have some sort of liquidity optimization tool. I'm bullish on the Uni V3 narrative, and I think it has some staying power, and he's probably going to do something. He has a pretty strong following on Twitter as well, so something will come out of it. And I've learned never fade Danny, so 500 USDC entry on the Uni V3 fork. F-Bomb. Now, the main guy you don't want to fade is Fiery. So Fiery is basically over MCLB. It's a DAO that has a suite of different DeFi products, and F-Bomb happens to be one of them. If you guys haven't looked into the F-Bomb thread I made, it's not up here, it's somewhere on Twitter. But basically the TLDR is it's like a solidly VE33 ETF to where the more governance tokens they own, they're able to use this and vote for their F-Bomb pool. And they're also using F-Bomb as well as some other rewards that they're farming as bribes to direct more liquidity over there. There's a 1% tax on the F-Bomb token every time it's bought or sold. So every time a transaction occurs, it's basically deflationary for the F-Bomb token. So the thesis behind it is it's like a solidly ETF token that's deflationary as it's getting more APRs, obviously, because it's voting on the different pools, and it's driving revenue back to token holders because 1% of those fees are burned forever, and it just takes less token supply or decreases the token supply on the market. Now, the next play in my wallet is Trader Joe. I did have a larger position that was in LP, but now probably the amount that I had in there was like 205 or 210. So it is down a little bit, just like F-Bomb. But the thesis behind Trader Joe, you can check out the full thread here. But TLDR is it provides liquidity bins. This is an advancement over Uniswap V3 because you now have organized concentrated liquidity. So if you look at the original layout of what Uniswap V3 liquidity will look like, is you can kind of compare it at, hey, look, if I choose to provide liquidity between $1,000 and $1,100 ETH, and some other guy does $600 and $1,200 ETH, we have two separate ranges, but our LPs don't stack on each other. We just have separate liquidity pools that if there was a swap to be made, it's not pulling from all those pools. Instead, it's going to pull from either this one if there's enough liquidity, or this one down here, or a little bit from both. So it's not stacking the liquidity. Whereas where you have the liquidity bins, if someone wants to provide liquidity, it's placed in each bin. So it could be like a bin that's from $10 to $20 ETH or $20 to $30 ETH. Obviously, they aren't going to be that wide and that crazy of prices. It'll probably be more narrow and much lower, but that's like the concept to understand it. And now if we have all of these organized bins where we place our liquidity in, every time someone looks to deposit liquidity in each of these bins, it will go in that particular bin. So you can kind of look at it like if you provide liquidity on Uniswap and you have 3 different LPs and they have all different ranges, it's basically like providing liquidity on 3 different DEXs. Whereas with Trader Joe, it's 1. We obviously know that providing liquidity on 1 DEX is it's optimal. It gives you the best prices. And here's an example of one of the prices on Grail. So this is trading 0.5 ETH on Uniswap, and you get 0.28974 Grail tokens. So 28974 for half an ETH. How much liquidity did Uniswap have? Well, Uniswap has, it's like 300 million in TVL, or 370K in liquidity. It's not loading, but oh yeah, here it is. So $370,000 in liquidity, and it's getting you 0.28974. Whereas on Trader Joe, you get 0.2898. So you're getting more Grail tokens, and wait, they only have $22,000 in liquidity. That's the power. So it literally has 10 times, or even more than 10 times, or less than 10. Uniswap has 10 times the liquidity over Trader Joe, but yet Trader Joe gives better prices. So that's kind of the tech of Trader Joe. Now the next one is Glacier Finance. This one is a degen play. It's basically a VE33 fork on Avalanche. So the thesis behind Glacier Finance, even though it's a degen, is that it's one of the first VE33 dexes on Avalanche. Yes, you do have Flare Dex, and you will have another one called Soul Snake, and that one's going to be out in about a week and a half. But Glacier Finance, the TVL, it seems to be stagnating, but for a good bit of time, it was actually doing pretty well. Obviously, time will tell. We'll see what will happen with this one. But it has a 0.2% on the swap fees for volatile pairs and 0.02% for stable pairs. So I think it will be able to capture a meaningful amount of TVL. And the bribes are really good. The very first epoch they had, it was over $30,000 in bribes, so I think it'll be do pretty well. So obviously, time will tell. We'll see what will happen on this one. The next play is DSLA. The TLDR on this is that it's third-party risk management that's being tokenized. It's almost like a prediction market in a way for risk management, to where people are rewarded for underwriting these different risk factors. So here's how DSLA would work. This is an example with a proof of stake token. So let's say, for example, you're like, Snap, I'm going to stake this token, but I want to hedge my risk against slashing. So what would happen is you would tokenize this risk, and this would be able to go on the marketplace, to where if there ever was a issue of uptime and the tokens were slashed, you wouldn't be at risk because you bought one of these policies. Sure, you had to pay some premiums, but it does help hedge the risk if there was slashing to occur. And basically, it's like a insurance because you were able to get the risk underwritten. So how the flow would go of DSLA is that vendors, they spend DSLA to create these service level agreements. They are able to trade on the marketplace. And DSLA is decentralized service level agreements. That's all it stands for. But then DSLA tokens are rewarded to those completing protocol maintenance tasks, so underwriting these different contracts, and then the tokens are burned forever every time a task is completed. So SLA owners, they would use the protocol to outsource first and third party risk management, increase customer acquisition and retention, because now you can create more sustainability. This could be in the form of yield, stablecoins, staking, etc. Users would use DSLA protocol to deposit a collateral and hedge against risks like NFT floor price drops, APR drops, downtimes, etc. Reduce potential losses from the SLA compensation. And then developers can use DSLA protocol to outsource risk management, as well as outsource first and third party risk management. And then of course the last play that I just added in was Brush PaintSwap. It's basically a NFT marketplace. In my opinion, it has one of the best UXs in crypto, and especially for the VE33 tokens and the protocols itself. But you can take a look at the marketplace, and just by comparison, this is on Equalizer. You can see here that they provide much more details, like they say, hey, look, this is the maturity. The NFT is actually transferable because it's not voting and it's not attached to any of the LP pairs. And this is important to have this data, especially being able to tell, hey, I can get this at a discount or it's trading at a premium. Because if you look at the comparison to OpenSea for Velodrome, I have no idea how many tokens this guy has. I have no idea what the lock amount is. I have no idea if I can even buy it, because if he's voting or if it has some LPs attached, I can't even purchase this NFT. So just in general, it's a better UX in that aspect. Second is that there's very strong value capture for the Brush token. 50% of the commissions from FNFTs is used to buy back and burn Brush, and the same thing from NFT sales. But it doesn't end there. They are, wow, good times. They are also integrating with a new game. It's called Esther 4. It's really just forest backwards, but it's like a RuneScape-like game, and any of the transactions that happen on that marketplace go to buyback and burn Brush. Well, actually, it wouldn't be buyback. It's just burning Brush, because you're trading the Brush token on there. And you can see here the statistics on the Brush burn chart right here. They are burning a good amount of Brush. It's not deflationary yet. Currently, at the time of recording, it's like 2.44 Brush every single second, with 50% of it locked for 3 months, because that's just how the token emissions work. But you can see here the burning on Brush is pretty good, and that didn't even include the game. So when the game comes, I see this increasing. But here's like a little quick snapshot of what the game looks like. But you have different skills like woodcutting, combat, fire making, fishing, etc. And you can level up in these different tasks, and when you do, you're able to get higher level items which sell for more. You can craft different goods which allow you to get these higher level items faster, etc. And these different items are traded in the Brush token, and as there's more volume on the actual game itself, this burns more Brush tokens. Now, the game is currently in alpha testing mode, so this is not open to the public right now. In my opinion, when it opens up to the public, it will be pretty deflationary on Brush. Currently, it's actually burning more Brush in the alpha mode than it is on the actual NFT marketplace for PaintSwap. So pretty interesting to see. The other degen plays were Farmland, the land token on Arbitrum. Mainly it was just because it was an old farming game I played 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, back in the early days of Arbitrum. Maybe it wasn't a year and a half, it was probably like a year ago. But yeah, these guys are fun, and basically they're trying to do like the VE33 flywheel with Solid Liz, not to the extent of like F-Bomb or One Ring, but it's just a degen play. And then you have Nitro Doge, just going on the coattails of Arbitrum Nitro, potential airdrop, like second airdrop, and then it's a meme coin. Like if Elon likes Doge, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll do something. It's a low market cap coin. It's like $35,000 market cap. First meme coin on Arbitrum Nova. If Arbitrum Nova constantly has TVL going into it, you can see here the TVL, it increased pretty rapidly the past few days, and it's kind of stopping out. But if this keeps going up and increasing with airdrop speculation or a second airdrop speculation, maybe it'll get some love. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is just the update with the DBank wallet challenge. Just wanted to show you guys the different plays I'm in. You can track the wallet. I shared it on Twitter. It's also pinned to my Twitter page, so you can check that out. If you guys want to jump in the Discord, there's a link in the description below. Let's hit you guys with that wisdom one-liner. We're in Proverbs chapter 10, verses 9. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Be good, be righteous. Peace.